What's going on, family? Dave Jones here, and we're going to do a segment 5 minutes of life, just straight uh, keys or answers to life. I was having a thought, and I figured out what we are all missing and what causes a lack of fulfillment, what causes a lack of us to turn our grind on, our passion on, us to do the things that we want to do, us to have a lack of commitment, us to have the procrastination and be distracted and be impulsive and do the things that we know we shouldn't do. And the reason for this is there we have baked a lack of control of our life. And that's every area of our life that affected by this. So we are three parts, meaning that we are a mind, we possess a brain which holds our intelligence and our thoughts, some say the heart, and we have this physical body which basically bakes our behaviors and habits and pulls us to do things and say things we should or should not say. All of that is a program based upon what we have taken into the mind or the imagination that we've created to cause us to be tense or in defense or to be on offense and attacking life. And if we're in a position that we're not doing the things that we know we should be doing with our family, with our business, with our grind, it's because we lost self-control. And self-control is lost once we lose the mind or the thoughts or the energy of thought that's in our mind. So what ideologies or belief about myself, about the world, about what I see, about what I heard, what ideologies out there are dictating my behaviors. These thoughts, like the thought is so powerful because when you know, like for example, if you're laying in the bed, I always like to use this example. You tell yourself the night before that you're going to get up and get something done earlier than you normally do. So I'm going to get up at 5:30 so I can go to the gym. What happens when in that morning when an alarm goes off? Here's where we're faced with who's in control. Even though we consciously said that we wanted to get up and work out and build our health or whatever that we wanted to do, the problem is that in opposition to that thought, which is not the most powerful thought in you, there's a thought of, I'm good, I need to get more rest, I need more sleep, or whatever it is that we tell ourselves. And so it's which thought that is in you, the deepest, most rooted, which one makes the most sense to you is the one that literally has the energy and the power to restrict you or restrict me to lay in that bed, even though I want to get up. And so thoughts, the wrong thought in us, is literally the restrictor. It physically restricts you. My dad used to say something all the times like thoughts are things. And I'm like, I heard that, like I get it. I was thinking like if you have a thought, you know what I'm saying, in your mind, you can figure out it's a created thought and eventually that you can form it with your mind, with your hands. And so again, like this book, right? It was a thought that I thought out and formed it with my hands. That's not only what he was talking about. Thoughts are things. Literally, it's like a power, an inhibitor. It like restricts you. Ever felt like you wanted to do something, but you could not go, you could not do it? You know, I remember back in the day when I used to, see a girl that I liked. And some days I would get cold feet. I wanted to talk to that girl. I thought they were attractive. I knew that I was a nice guy or whatever, but it was something in me, maybe of lack of getting rejected or affected my ego. When I wanted to go over there, the thought of they going to reject you, that slight thought of insecurity, lack of self-confidence, it caused me to second guess because I rather protect myself from the no or the diss. I would protect myself more so than I wanted to go there and actually gain a relationship with that person. And so we have to understand that we do things for one or two reasons: to gain the benefit or prevent a loss. So in this case, to prevent the loss of my ego, of my self-esteem, was more important to me. So that thought, that mindset that was baked into my mind restricted me. It controlled me. It was the thought that inhibited me from doing that. And this is everything in life. This is everything in life. the first priority is to figure out how to solve the problem of getting self-control. And again, I'm always going to allude as I have climbing out of this process myself to control myself, even when I don't want to do stuff. It's a fight to discover what's necessary, what framework, what system is necessary to regain control of our life. That's the goal here. How do we regain control of our own behavior? And then answer that question is first by identifying who you are. Give yourself a new thought, right? Who are you? You can start by saying, I actually have control. Now, there are other tactical things that we teach here at the Answer Key. It's like number one, the first thing is you have to, again, identify where you're going, who you are and where you're going. Number two, you have to figure out how to find new thoughts that we repetitionally decide to bake into our mind, like on purpose. Let me get this principle. Let me get this thought process. Let me change my belief system. Let me say my philosophy. And there's a process to do that. How do I get those things baked in me over these negative thoughts that I've programmed over the last decade of my life? And so this process is not quick. It's a churning of transformation, which there's frustration and there's resistance, because that same creature of restriction is inside of us. And from there, it's about creating a clarity of a vision. What exactly am I building? What are the problems am I solving? And how I'm going to solicit the help and put the system in place for this thing to happen in my life, whatever it is. And then now, how do I bake this habit all the way down to our hourly plan? And I think the biggest thing about this whole thing is getting in the right community or the right minds to help trigger you to maintain this framework or this system of approach to regain self-control, identity, releasing the change, vision clarity, habit change, and then obviously the right community to help you, coach you, and bring you along the way and support as we all are going through this process. So I wanted to jump on really quick. I hope that makes sense. The goal for you, the problem for your creative mind to solve is to, first, we're going to watch you observe this. Like when you know you should be doing something, we don't do it. So the first thing I want you to do is observe it. Secondly, I want you to start to fight against it, knowing that the enemy is within inside of you. It's not anyone else. It's not anybody else's problem. It's not what anybody else think about what you want to do or what you want to produce. It's about what you think about you or what you think about they or the world wants you to do. And that thought, we have to figure out a creative way to solve that problem, to transform the life. And if you need help with this, reach out. There should be a link eventually somewhere. But I had to get this out of my head. And so hopefully this helped you, because a lot of us are in a position that we're in pain, and we have to get out of this, because what's at stake is fulfillment. What's at stake is a life that we know that we should be living. And what's at stake is potentially living out regret. And I wish I would have gained control at that season of my life when I figured out what was wrong with me, when I couldn't stop the things that were destroying myself, destroying my family, destroying my joy. You have to purposefully attack gaining self-control. That's your assignment. And that's how you enjoy life.